Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Code 369, and this is JavaScript algorithms and data structures. This is the full stack development course, and today is class 54. The website from which we are learning JavaScript algorithms and data structures is freecodecamp, and this is a self-learning platform. I highly recommend you to learn by yourself, okay? To do self-learning, because self-learning is the best way of learning, because you are putting yourself completely in that process, okay? You only have to understand it, so you are learning it better. I'm saying you are spending 100% of your energy in order to understand it. So this is highly valuable thing. Self-learning is a highly valuable thing. Then you can be asking, then why do I have to watch your lectures? You don't need to watch my lectures. Only if you are having any doubt, you can come and watch this. Otherwise, you can learn it by yourself, okay? Just for clarifications, you can watch it. Otherwise, it is not necessary. So we are covering basic JavaScript of this course. So far we have completed this much of exercises up to returning boolean values from functions, and in this video we will be starting with return early pattern for functions, okay? This is an exercise which is very important, okay? Let us see it. When a return statement is reached, the execution of the current function stops. Okay, this is a very important statement. So when the return statement is reached, the execution of the current function stops. Let us see the example. Here you can see a function, okay, and that function is called here. The message which is displayed is console.log of hello, okay? So the hello will be displayed, and then return world is there, okay? And after the return statement, there is another console.log and bye bye is displayed here. So the thing which you have to understand here is, whenever you are having a return statement inside your function, after that return statement, the code will not be executed, okay? For example, here this hello will be displayed, okay, which is before the return statement, but this bye bye after the return statement will not be displayed, because when the function reaches the return statement, the function will not be executed further, okay? It will be stopped. That's what the power of return is, okay? So you have to understand this and always keep it in your mind. So let us put here, okay, and see what happens. Copy this and paste it here, and you will be seeing the hello here, okay? But bye bye is not visible here, because after the return statement the code will not be executed. And what if I move this return world below the bye bye? You will be seeing the message bye bye, okay? So that is the power of returnness. After return statement, nothing will be executed, okay? Always remember this. Even experienced programmers, maybe, I'm not saying completely, but maybe some people don't know this, okay? Not experienced people, maybe some programmers don't know this, okay? So modify the function A/B test so that, just reset all this code. Modify the function A/B test so that if A or B are less than 0, the function will immediately exit with a value undefined. With a value of undefined. So we have to use an if condition. So what is the condition given here? A or B less than 0. So A less than 0 or B less than 0, what should be returned? Function will immediately exit with a value of undefined. Okay, so the function should exit with a value of undefined. So we should give a return statement here. Okay, return undefined. Press Ctrl Enter. Here what I have done is I have written the answer for this, because when I am writing it by step, it will be very time consuming. So what I have done is I have written the answer and I will be explaining you it very easily. Okay, so what we can see here is a function. Okay, function name of cc and a parameter called card. Okay, so what they have said here is, if the cards, okay, if the card value is 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, the count value should be increased by 1. If the card value is 7 or 8 or 9, the count should be remaining unchanged. And if the card value is 10, J, Q, K, A, the count should be less by 1. Okay, the count should be reduced by 1. So there is a easy method in which we can approach this problem is switch statement. Okay, so using switch we can easily do it. So how can we do it? First thing which you have to understand here is, card is an argument which will be received by the function. Okay, so that is the thing which will be the argument for the switch also. So I have opened switch and I have given argument of card and I have opened the curly braces. Okay, so what I have written here is case 2, case 3, case 4, case 5, case 6. Okay, already we saw switch in the previous class. Okay, if you are not familiar with switch, go to the previous class and watch the switch statement. Okay, all these concepts were covered in the previous class itself, so you can be easily understanding it. Okay, so card will be receiving a value. For example, here you can see we have called the function here. Okay, we have called the function here, so the card is receiving value of 237 ka. Okay, like that you will be receiving some values here. So I have written case 2, case 3, case 4, case 5, case 6. For all these 5 cases, the output will be same. Okay, the process which has to be performed is same. That is, count should be increased by 1. Okay, so how can we write count should be increased by 1? Just write count plus plus. Okay, and then give break. And for card of 10 JQKA, the count should be reduced by 1. So it will be performing the same operation for all the 5 cards. Okay, even if it is 10 or J or Q or K or A, anything it can be among these 5, the operation which has to be performed is count should be less than by 1. Okay, that's it. And if it is 7, 8, 9, nothing has to be changed. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. Even you can write code for that, that is not a problem. Okay, writing is better. For example, case 7, 8, 9. Okay, case 7, case 8, case 9. Okay, for all these cases what we can do is count equal to count plus 0. Okay, count equal to count plus 0 and give break. Okay, that's it. Now the count will be changed according to the card given. Okay, if it is 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, the count will be increased by 1. Like that, for 10JQKA, the count will be reduced by 1. And for 789, the count will not be changed anything. Okay, that's it. Finally, what they have said here is, if the count is greater than 0, okay, if the count is greater than 0, the function should return count plus a string bet. Okay, the count value plus the string of bet. Okay, if the count is not less than 0, it should give count plus string of hold. Okay, that is what they have told here. Okay, you can read this. So this is the problem, and it's easy. It's really easy, and that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. So now we are getting into objects. Okay, this is very important. Build JavaScript objects, and this is called as an object. Let me delete all these things and copy this. Okay, this is called as an object. Okay, object is nothing but there will be a key and a value. Okay, for example, there is a property and a value will be there. Okay, both the things will be there. So cat is an object here, and we will be having all the properties of cat. For example, name, legs, tiles, enemies, etc. And we will be having value, whiskers, 4, 1, water, dog. Okay, all these things. So property and a value, if both the things are present inside a variable, that is called as object. Okay, very simple. And reset all the code. Here you can see some definition is given, and you can read this. Okay, make an object that represents a dog called my dog, which contains properties, name, legs, tiles, and friends. Okay, these are all the properties of a dog. So how to write it? Just type name, and then in the next line give legs, and in the next line give tiles, and in the next line use friends. Okay, and we should be using colon in order to give value. So give colon, and we will be writing values. And what they have said here is you can give any value. So what is the name of a dog? For example, I am giving Mark, and I am giving legs as, okay, this should be a number. Okay, name should be in string because that should be a character, but legs, tiles should be in numbers. Okay, for example, tiles 1. And friends, for friends we can be giving an array. Okay, because it can be having multiple friends, so we will give array. Okay, for example, the first friend is Arun, the second friend is John, the third friend is Mark, Johnson. Okay, Johnson, anything it can be. Sorry if the spelling is wrong. Okay, now press Ctrl Enter. It is showing some error because you can set these object properties value as long as name is a string, like and the number of friends is an array. Okay, then what is the problem here? Sorry, one thing I have missed is comma. Okay, for every property you have to give comma. That is the thing which I have missed. Press Ctrl Enter. Now accessing object properties with dot notation. Okay. Here you can read the definition. There are two ways to access the properties of an object, dot notation and bracket notation. Okay. So there are two ways to access the properties of an object. One is dot and another one is bracket. Okay. So dot notation is what you use when you know the name of the property you are trying to access. Okay. So if you know the name of the property, you can use dot. Here is an example of using dot notation. So what they have done here is my obj.prop1. So this is the object which we are trying to access, and prop1, that is the property which we want to access. So I can simply give my obj.prop1. So it will be giving the value of val1. Okay. That's it. Now let us get into the exercise. Read in the property values of test obj using dot notation. Set the variable hat value equal to the object's property hat. Okay, and set the shirt value equal to the object. What they have told here is we should be accessing the test obj object and its property of hat and shirt. Okay, and we should be storing it in another variable. So how to do it? Here is the object name and we should use dot and we should give the property of hat. Okay, and here we should be using dot and shirt. So what will happen is test obj, its property hat. Okay, so this hat is having the value of ball cap, so that is stored in this hat value, and jersey is the value which is stored in shirt, so that will be stored in the variable shirt value. So when I am printing both these two things, I will be getting the output, okay, of ball cap and jersey. Hat value and here shirt value. Okay, hat value and shirt value. So sorry, now I am getting the value of ball cap and jersey. Okay, press Ctrl Enter. Now there is another way which we can access the object properties, and that is bracket notation. If the property of the object you are trying to access has a space in its name, you will need to use bracket notation. Okay, always please remember this, because you will be getting confused hereafter when you are getting into complex object oriented programming, because there you will be getting confused whether to use dot or bracket notation. Okay, so understand it very clearly. If the property of the object you are trying to access has a space in its name, okay, for example, here you can see this property has a space in it, and this property also has a space in it. So if it has space, you will need to use bracket notation. Okay, however, you can still use bracket notation on object properties without space. Even if there is no space, you can use bracket notation. That is also not a problem. Okay, so that's it. Now go ahead, read the values of the property and entry and the drink of test obj using bracket notation and assign them to entry value and drink value. Okay, so we have to assign the value of an entry to this variable. So how to do it? We have to give the object name test obj, and we have to use bracket notation, and we have to give an entry. Okay, and here also the same, we should use square bracket and we have to give the drink. Okay, and one more thing here is they have given it in a string. Okay, so we should be using double quotes here also. So give double quotes and let us see the output of both these variables. Okay, so we will be having hamburger and veggies, hamburger and water. Okay, hamburger and water will be the output. Entry value here, the drink value. Okay, so hamburger and water will be the output. Press Ctrl Enter. Now accessing object properties with variables. Okay, now what they have done here is they will be storing the property in a variable. Okay, for example, there is dog object and hunter is a property of the dog's object. Okay, so what they have done here is they will be creating a variable and they will be assigning the property name here. Okay, so whenever you have to access hunter property, you can just call by it using my dog variable. Okay, so this is what they have done here. Set the player number variable to 16. So what they have done here is we have to set player number variable. Okay, player number variable to 16. Actually 16 is the property of the object test objs. Okay, so whenever you have to access 16, you can just give the name of player number. Okay, then use the variable to look up the player name and assign it to player. Okay, so what they have done, what they have said here is actually okay, actually we have to change the line here. Okay, so instead of 42 we have to give 16. So delete this is not necessary. And what we have to do is we have to access this 16 using the variable name assigned to it. So what is the variable name assigned here for 16? Player number. Okay, so we have to use square bracket and we have to give player number. Press Ctrl Enter. Updating object properties. Now what we have to do is we have to update the object properties. So how to do it? How to do it? Update the my dog object's name property. Okay, we have to update this name property of my dog. Let's change her name from coder to happy coder. Okay, we have to change this coder to happy coder. You can either use dot or bracket notation. Okay, first of all, how to access this name? We have to give the object name and then we have to give dot or bracket. We will be using bracket. Okay, and we have to give the name property and we have to set the value as happy coder. Okay, that is what they have said, happy coder. Okay, and then when we are printing it, what will happen? That is what we are going to see. Just copy this and paste it here. Okay, and now you are seeing happy coder. Press Ctrl Enter. Now what we are going to see is adding new properties to a JavaScript object. Okay, already the object will be having multiple properties. Here you can see This our dog will be having name, legs, tails, friends, all these properties. But what we are going to do now is we will be adding properties from the outside. For example, here you can see our dog dot bark equal to bow wow, bow wow. Okay, so this is a new property which is added here. And in the exercise, what they have told is add a bark property to my dog and set it to a dog sound such as woof. You may use either dot or bracket notation. Okay. So now we are going to add a new property from the outside. So how to do it? Give the object name and use square bracket, and you can give the bark property here using string and give equal to, and you have to set the value as woof. Okay, that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now what we are going to do is we are going to delete the properties. Okay, so how to do it? Here you can see bark is already there a property, but what they have done here is they are deleting the property. Okay, so just give delete keyword and use object name with property. Okay, dot property. So that is how you can delete the property. So what they have told here is you have to delete the tails property. Okay, so how to do it? Just give delete and give the object name and give bracket and give tails. Okay, press Ctrl Enter. That's it. The next topic is using objects for lookups. Okay, here you can see this statement. Objects can be thought of as a key value storage like a dictionary. Okay, object is nothing but like a dictionary. We will be assigning a key and a value. Okay, like a word will be having a meaning, like that we can assign a key and a value. Okay, you can use an object to look up values rather than a switch statement or an if else chain. Okay, you can use an object to look up values. So what they are saying is we can look up values. So just go to the exercise, convert the switch statement into an object called lookup, use it to look up val and assign the associated string to the result variable. Okay, actually we have to look up at val and associate and assign the associated string to the result variable. Okay, we have to associate the assigned value to the result variable. Okay, so that is what we are going to do now. So we have to convert this switch, okay, into an object. So what we can do is just change the code. Now which object we have to create? Sorry, have lookup. Okay, here you can see convert the switch statement into an object called lookup. So lookup is the object which we have to create here. So let us use keyword of let and give the object name lookup and give equal to and give curly braces, and inside this curly brace we are going to assign key and values. For example, alpha is assigned, actually alpha will be having value of Adams. Okay, so give alpha colon Adams and then comma. and Bravo and Boston. Okay, Bravo and Boston. Bravo colon Boston. Okay. Like that I have assigned all the values. Okay. For example, Charlie Chicago. Here you can see Charlie Chicago and Delta Denver, Echo Easy, Foxtrot Frank. Like that all the values I have assigned here, and I have closed the object here. Okay, using the curly brace. And now what we are going to do is we will be looking up. Okay, we will be looking up. Here we can extend this. We will be looking up where is val located. Okay, where is val located? Val is nothing but the input which is received here for the function. Okay, the argument. And also we have to delete the switch statement. So val is the argument which is received to the function, and we will be looking up where the val is located in the object. Okay, so how to do that? We have to give the object name, and inside the square bracket we have to give val. Okay, so this val can be anything. Okay, that is the user has to give it. For example, here the val is assigned with the value of Charlie. Okay, Charlie. So if we are putting like this, okay, this will be searching where that Charlie is located, and here you can see Charlie is located. And what they have said is we have to assign the value of this val, that is Charlie, to a variable. Okay, so this Chicago will be assigned to a variable called result. Okay, you can see here result variable. So let me give where already the result is declared. I am sorry, here already the result is declared, so we just give result equal to. Okay, and finally what we have to do is we have to return this result, and that is already done by the browser itself. Okay, so that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. So some problem arises. Why? So the error which is being shown is Adams and Boston have spelling errors. Okay, so Adams I should change it to caps. Okay, uppercase, and Boston to uppercase. Press Ctrl Enter. Move ahead. And testing objects for properties. Okay, so this is also a very important thing. Okay, testing objects for properties. For example, here you can see this example. My obj is an object and it has top and bottom properties. Top is assigned with values hat and bottom is assigned with the value pants. Okay, so what they have done here is my obj dot has one property of top. Okay, so what it will be doing is when you are writing the object name and you are using dot has one property and assigning it a value inside the bracket, it will be testing whether this property is located inside this object. Okay, for example, they have given top, dot has one property top. So what this will be doing is it will be checking whether top is a property of this object. Okay, and if it is there, it will be giving you true, otherwise it will give you false. Okay, so go to the exercise, modify the function check obj to test if an object passed to the function obj contains a specific property, check prop. Okay, If the property is found, return the property's value. If not, return not found. Okay. So modify the function check obj to test if an object passed to the function obj contains a specific property check prop. Okay. So what we have to do here is we have to check whether this obj object, okay, which is received as an argument has own property dot has own property of check prop. Okay, whether it has the property of check prop, that is what we have to check. This obj object, whether it has the property of check prop or not. Okay, that is what we are checking now. And if it is there, it will be returning true, otherwise it will return false. Okay, check prop, actually this is an argument, so you should not give double quotes here. Okay, this should be just treated as a variable. Okay, if the property is found, return the property's value. Okay, if the property is found, return the property's value. So we should be using if statement here, and give curly brace. So if this becomes true, okay, if this becomes true, what we should return? Return the property's value. Okay, so return check prop. If not, return not found. So give not found here. Okay, if you know if statement clearly, this will be very easy. Press Ctrl Enter. Some mistake I have done. So what is that? Here I have just given check prop. Okay, return check prop, and it should not be like that. For example, if we have to return the value of this property, we have to mention the object name also. Okay, using bracket notation. So give obj and give bracket. Okay, now press Ctrl Enter. Let us directly come to the, okay, this topic is manipulating complex objects. Okay, so let us directly come to the exercise itself. So what they have told here is add a new album to the my music array. Okay, actually this is the array, my music is an array, and you know that array should be having multiple values. Okay, and what they are telling is add a new album to the my music array. Okay, so we have to add a new album. So give comma and create another object inside the my music array. And what they have told us, add artist and title strings. Okay, so add artist and title strings. So this should be strings, this should be having the value of strings. So you can give any artist, for example Bob. Okay, it can be anything, that's your wish. And give comma here, and give title, for example Bond, and give comma here. Okay, and then release year, so release underscore year, and give a value in number, because year should be in number, for example 1999, and then comma, and then formats. Okay, and give colon and give the value of, for example, formats in the sense, and it should be an array, that is what they have mentioned here. Okay, array of strings. So I am just copying this same format, okay, from the previous object. Just copy this and paste it here. Okay, press Ctrl Enter. Now we are going to access the nested objects, okay, accessing nested objects. How to access the nested objects? For example, here you can see folder 2. This is what which has to be accessed, okay. Where is folder 2 located? Here you can see folder 2 is located here, okay. So how to access this folder 2? First of all, we have to give the object name, our storage, okay. Then this folder 2 is located inside the top drawer, and this top drawer is located inside the cabinet, okay. So first we have to give our storage, and we have to use dot, and we have to give cabinet, and then inside the cabinet, inside top drawer, inside folder 2 is located, okay. So we have to access like that. So let us go to the exercise. Access the my storage object and assign the contents of Glovebox property to the Glovebox contents variable, okay. Use dot notation for all properties where possible, otherwise bracket notation. So what they have told here is we have to access the Glovebox property, okay, either using dot or bracket, and we should be storing that value to the Glovebox contents variable, okay. So first of all, give the object name my storage, and inside the my storage, this Glovebox is located inside the inside property, and this inside property is located inside the car property. So here the car should be coming. So my storage dot car, and inside the car, okay, there is inside property, okay. So inside, and inside the inside property, the Glovebox is located, okay. So give Glovebox here. We will be using bracket notation because this property has space in it, okay, glove space box. So we are using bracket notation. So give bracket and give string of Glovebox, okay. Press Ctrl Enter. That's it. Now we are going to access the nested arrays, okay. Nested arrays. So how to do it? Use dot and bracket notation. Set the variable second tree to the second item in the trees list from the myPlans object. So what they have told is second item, set the variable second tree to the second items in the trees list, okay. So where is the trees list? Here you can see trees list, okay. And we have to set the second item. Oh, this is called a trees list, okay. And we have to set the second item, okay, to this variable. So how to do it? Just delete the string here. First of all, what we have to do is we have to give the object, actually this is an array, we have to give the array name myPlans, okay. So myPlans, okay, myPlans, and this object, okay, this whole object where this pine is located is having the index of 1, okay. So this object is having the index of 0, and this object will be having the index of 1. So I am going to give index 1, myPlans of index 1, okay. And then we are now accessing this object, okay. And in this object, what we have to access is list. Okay, we have to access this list property. So how to do it? Give square bracket and give list. Okay, give double quotes, and inside this list we have to access this pine. Okay, actually this is an array, so we have to give the index of pine. So what is the index? Index is 1, so give index 1. Press Ctrl Enter. Actually there is some error. Actually the error is with the list. Okay, I have used double quotes here, but actually in the object it is not written inside double quotes. Okay, so what we should do is we should remove the double quotes. Okay, so even if we remove the double quotes, this should not be written inside square bracket, because this is not written as a string. Okay, we should use to write strings inside the square box, otherwise it should be used with a dot. So just delete the square bracket and give dot. Okay, now press Ctrl Enter. Go ahead. Now this is a record collection. So for this record collection exercise, what I have done is I have written the answer. Okay, so if I am writing the answer, it will be a time consuming thing. So what I have done here is I have completed the answer. So what they have told here is you should be completing the function with these conditions satisfied. Okay, so what we have to do is so what we have to do is we have to create a function called update records. Okay, and what they have told here is containing musical actually this was given by default. Okay, you can see it in your browser. This is given by default. Okay, what are the parameters that it should take, and also it should return records. Okay, this is also given by default. So what we have to do is we have to just fill the conditions here. Okay, and according to that condition we have to do some operation. That's it. So these are the conditions which we have to follow here. So what we have to do here is here you can see your function must always retain the entire record collection object. Okay, so records is the entire object, and the function should be returning records. Okay, so that is already given in the browser, so you don't have to worry about that. So what you have to concentrate is this. Okay, come to the first condition. If prop is not tracks. Okay, if prop is not tracks, so what does it mean? The prop is not equal to tracks. Okay, and whenever we are using equal to or not equal to, we will be using strictly not equal to and strictly equal to. Okay, always remember to do that. And it means that prop strictly not equal to tracks. Okay, and we have give the condition here, prop strictly not equal to tracks. And okay, they have given and here, so we are using and operator here. And value is not an empty string, so value is not the value is not strictly equal to empty string. Okay, So we have given that also. And if it is like that, set the album's prop to value. So what they have told here is we have to set the album's prop is equal to value. Okay. So how to access the album's prop? Okay, how to access it? What we have to do is we have to actually so how to access the album's prop? Okay, so first of all what we have to understand is we have to read this carefully. For example, function that takes an object literal records. Okay, so records is the object containing the musical album collection. Okay, it contains the musical album collection with an id. Okay, with an id, and inside that object there will be id and a prop like artist or tracks. So inside that id there will be artist or tracks. Okay, so how do we have to access this prop? First we have to give the object name records, and inside that object there will be id, and inside that id only there will be prop. Okay, it can be, the prop can be anything. Okay, I have deleted the default answer here, so let me get it back. Actually I have deleted this record collection also, so I have included both the things. So you can see it here. Okay, this is the object and it will be having an id and it will be having prop like artist or tracks. Okay, like this. So what I missed, I don't know, I have forgotten. So if this condition is getting true, what we have to do is we have to access the prop and we should be making the value equal to it. Okay, so the value can be anything, that is an parameter which is given. Okay, the argument will be passed to that value and it will be assigned to this prop. Okay, that's it. And coming to the second condition, if prop is tracks, so it means prop equal to tracks. Okay, triple equal to tracks, but the album does not have a tracks property. Okay, what they are saying is, but the album does not have a tracks property. So how can you tell that an object is having a property or not? We will be using has own property. Okay, we will be using has own property. And coming to the code, we can see here prop equal to tracks, and okay, coming but the album does not have a tracks property. So what we have done is we have used and we have used a tracks has one property and give the property name as tracks. Okay, so and what we have done, what they have said here is does not have. So if it is false, okay, does not have means false. What we have to do is create an empty array and add value to it. So we have created an empty array and we have added value to it. Okay, and the third condition is if prop is tracks, if prop is strictly equal to tracks and value is not an empty string. So we have give prop strictly equal to tracks and we have used and value is strictly not equal to empty string. Okay, so we have given that also, and if it becomes true, what will happen? add value to the end of the album's existing tracks array. Okay, so how to add value to the end of the album's existing track array? If you have to add any value to the end of the array, what we have to do? We have to use push method. Okay, so we are going to use push method. So where we have to add value to the end of the album's existing tracks array. Okay, so we have to find where the tracks is located. So tracks, where the tracks will be coming? Prop. Okay, tracks is nothing but this prop here. Okay, so how to access this prop? We have to give the object name and the id and the prop. Okay, actually when they are saying tracks, we have to think tracks is a prop. Okay, we cannot directly give tracks. Okay, tracks is a prop here. Okay, you can see here and you can identify here tracks is the prop. Okay, in the question itself they have given. Okay, prop. Okay, prop like an artist or track. Okay, so you have to give prop and you have to push value to that. Okay, dot push of value, and at the last, if value is an empty string, so it means value strictly equal to empty string, delete the given prop. Okay, so if value is strictly equal to empty string, delete the prop. So inside the records the id is located and the id is and the prop is located inside the id, so delete like this. Okay, records of id of prop, so the property will be deleted. Finally the records will be returned. Okay, will be returned. That is what defaultly given. So that's it, my friends. This seems to be a little bit difficult, but just compare these conditions with the values. Okay, so with the answer which I have written, you can be easily understanding it. Okay, and that's it. Let's move ahead. Now iterate with JavaScript while loops. Okay, hereafter we will be seeing the concept of loops. Okay, so you can, this is, just read this line. Okay, you can run the same code multiple times by using a loop. Okay, loops are used in order to reduce the amount of code that you write. Okay, so it reduces the amount of code that you write. It lessens, it reduces, okay, the code that you write. That is why we are using loops. So first type of loop is while loop here. Okay, and we will be seeing what is while loop. Here take the example. Okay, here take the example. There is a array. Okay, and it is assigned with an empty array. Actually this is a variable which is assigned with an empty array, and what they have given here is they have declared another variable and 0 is assigned to it, and they have written while, and they have given a condition here. Okay, so I less than 5, and inside of the block they have written our array dot push of I and I plus plus. So what does it mean, our array dot push of I? So I is something which has a value. Okay, I is something which has a value. It can be 1 or 2 or 3 or anything. Then what does it mean, our array dot push of I? So this value will be stored in the our array. Okay, at the last, as the last element. Okay, this I will be stored in the our array as the last element, and then what will happen is this I value will be increased by 1. So So this is what the operation being done here. So in this while loop, what we have to understand here is I is less than 5. So the value of I is less than 5, always less than 5. So what are the values that are less than 5? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And up to 4, it will be taking the value for I. Okay. So this I will be taking the value up to 4. 0 through 4, you can see here. Okay, it will be taking the values of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and it will be coming into this block. Okay, it will be coming into this block. And first 0 will be stored in the our array and then 1 will be stored in the our array. Then when the value of I gets beyond 4, for example when it's get 5, so the condition will become false. So this block will not be executed. So what you can understand here is we have initiated a value for I as 0 and until I is less than 5, this block will be executed, and when this condition gets false, this block will not be executed. Okay, this is called while loop. So go to the exercise, add the numbers 5 through 0 inclusive in descending order to my array using a while loop. So what we have to do is, here we have to create, what do we have to create? Add the numbers 5 through 0 inclusive. Okay, 0 also is inclusive in descending order. In descending order. So first what we have to do is we have to create a variable, for example let I equal to, and we are going to add the numbers 5 through 0. So in the descending order, so the first number will be 5. Then what we are going to do is we are going to use while loop and the condition should be I, okay, I the I should be greater than or equal to 0 because 0 is also considered here. So the I should be having the value of greater than or equal to 0 and this I should not go less than 0. Okay, that is why we have given this condition here, and we are opening the block, and what we are going to do is we are going to push this 5 to the my array. So how to push this? Give the my array dot push of I. Okay, at first what will be the I value? 5. So what we are going to do is we are going to push the value of 5 to the my array. Okay, then what we are going to do is after 5 what we have to push? We have to push 4. So we have to reduce the I value by 1. So give I minus minus. Okay, so then the I value is getting 4. So then the 4 again will be coming here and it will be pushed to the my array, and then I value will be reduced to 3 and 3 will be pushed to the my array. Okay, and then 2 and then 1 and then 0 will be pushed to the my array. So let us see the output here using console.log of my array. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. In the descending order we have pushed it. Okay, press Ctrl Enter. Now what we are going to see is for loop. Okay, use a for loop. For loop is the thing which we will often use. Okay, so for loop is nothing but we will be declaring the variable inside the loop itself. For example, let I equal to 0 and we will be giving the condition, for example I less than 5. So I will be getting the value of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if it is getting 5, the loop, this block will not be executed. Okay, so the value limit for I is 0 to 4, and every time this value will be getting increased by 1. For example, initially the I value is 0, and every time it will be increased by 1. For example, next it will become 1, and then it will become 2, and then it will become 3, and then it will become 4. Finally, when the I value is getting to 5, I less than 5 will become false, because 5 less than 5 is false. So this block will not be executed. Okay. Like this, every value of I will be pushed to the our array, like the exercise what we did in the previous exercise. Okay. So the initial value of I will be 0 and it will be pushed to the our array, and then 1 will come and it will be pushed, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. Okay. 5 will not be pushed, because 5 less than 5 the condition will get false and the block will not be executed. And let us do this exercise. Use a for loop to push the values 1 through 5 onto my array. Okay. From 1 to 5 we have to push the values. So use for loop, and the initial value should be 1, because they told us to push the value of 1. So use let keyword and initialize the value of I with 1. Okay. Then what we have to do is through 5, it means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the value should be getting increased, I value should be getting increased. So what I have to do is give I plus plus. Okay. Then up to which value the I have to get increased? Up to 5. So I condition should be I less than or equal to 5. Okay. Beyond 5 it should not go. That is what the meaning of this. So inside the block what you are going to do is you are going to push the I value. So give my array dot push of I. Okay. Initially the 1 will be coming into this block. Okay. It will get true I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5. So 1 less than or equal to 5, it is true. So I value will be 1 initially, and this 1 will be pushed to the my array. Okay, the 1 will be stored into this array, and what will happen is I will be increased by 1, so it will get to 2, and 2 less than or equal to 5, it is true. Then 2 will be pushed, and then it will be increased by 1, so I value will be 3. So 3 less than or equal to 5, that is also true. So 3 will be pushed to the my array. So like that it will be happening. So let us see the result, console.log of my array. And you will see the output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Press Ctrl Enter. Then what we are going to do is iterate odd numbers with a for loop. So push the odd numbers from 1 through 9 to my array using a for loop. So declare a for loop here and set an initial value. For example, let I equal to, so from which number we have to start? From 1. So give the initial value as 1. And the next, what numbers should be pushed? Odd numbers. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So the numbers will be getting increased by 2. So what we will be doing here is so what we will be giving here is I plus equal to 2. It means I should be increased by 2. Okay. So up to which value the I should be? Up to 9. Okay. Here you can see 9. So the last value of I should be 9. So I less than or equal to 9. Okay. Then open the block. What we are going to do is push the odd numbers. So to my array we are going to push the value of I. So initially the I will be having the value of 1, and this I will be satisfying this condition because 1 is less than or equal to 9. So this condition is satisfied. So the 1 will be pushed to the my array. Then 3 will be coming to it, and 5 will be coming, and 7 will be coming, and 9 will be coming. Okay. After 9 there is no possible value for I. If it is coming, it will get false, so this block will not be executed. So press Ctrl Enter. Now what we are going to do is push the odd numbers from 9 through 1. Okay. Now what we are going to do is from 9 to 1 we are going to push odd numbers. So the same thing, use for loop and declare the initial value as 9. Okay. Because from 9 we are going to push, and what will happen is we are going to push odd numbers, so the value will get decreased by 1 because we are pushing the values in the reverse order. Okay. After 9 the value should become 7, and after 7 the value should become 5. So what we have to do is we have to reduce the I by the value of 2. Okay. And finally what should be the last value of I? 1 should be the last value of I. So I should be greater than or equal to 1. Okay. Then what we are going to do is we are going to push to the myArray dot push of I. So what will happen is initially 9 will be pushed. Okay, and then 7 will be pushed, and then 5 will be pushed. Pushed means the value will be added to the last. Okay, and then 3 and then 1. That's it. Okay. So press Ctrl Enter. Next, iterate through an array with a for loop. Okay, this is very important concept, and I will make you very simple. Okay, I will make it very simple. For example, go to the exercise, declare and initialize a variable total to 0. Okay, so we have to declare and initialize a variable total equal to 0. Use a for loop to add the value of each element of the myArray array to total. Okay. So what they have told us, we have to use a for loop. Okay. And what we have to do is we have to add each element of the myArr to the total. Okay, that is what they have said. So how to do it? That is what we are going to do it now. Okay. So the first thing is we have to add each element to the total. Okay. So first 0 will be added by 2. Okay. And 3 will be added to the value which is changed here. For example, first 0 will be added by 2. Okay. 0 will be added by 2. Now the result is 2. Then what will happen? 2 will be added by 3. Okay, like that. Now the answer is 5. And 5 will be added by 4. Now it will become 9. Like that, each element will be added to the total variable. Okay. Each element of this array will be added to the total element. So what we have to do is we have to access each element of this array. So how to access the array? We have to just use the index. So first of all, what I have to do is I have to initialize a variable. Okay, and declare let I equal to, first of all what I have to do is I should be giving the index. Okay, so the first index, what is the first index? 0. Okay, what is the array or what is the index of any array? Sorry, what is the first index of any array? 0. So I am giving 0. Okay, and that index should be added by the value of 1. Okay, for example, the first index will be 0 and the second index will be 1 and the third index will be 2. So the index should be added by the value of 1. So I am giving I++. And up to which index? the array should be up to which index we should be accessing, to the last index. Okay, up to the last index we have to access. So how can we call the last index? Length minus 1. Okay, array dot length minus 1. Array dot length is nothing but the total number of numbers in the array. Okay, so how can we call the total numbers in the array? Total length. Okay, total length is nothing but total number of elements in the array. Okay, let me write it. So total number of elements is equal to total length of the array. Okay, we already know it, but we need the index. So what is the index of the last element of the array? That is simple, length minus 1. We already saw it in the previous classes itself. Okay, length minus 1. So why length minus 1? Because the index value always starts from 0. Okay, the index value always starts from 0. But when counting, we will always start from 1. So the first element will be 0. So the last element will be having the index of value less than 1. Okay, less than the value less than 1 of the total length. Okay, we already saw it. For example, the total number of elements present here is 5. Okay, total number of elements present here is 5, and that is called the total length of this array. But the index will be 4 because this is starting from 0. The index will be starting from 0. So how can we call the index of the last element? The length minus 1. That is it. Okay, I hope you have understood, and it is very easy. And I will be here, what they have done is they have written in a format like this, but I will be writing in a different format. I will not be writing I less than array dot length. Okay, I will be writing it in a different way. So how to write it? I should be less than or equal to my ARR dot length. Okay, this is what my style is. And give curly braces. So the index will be starting from 0. Okay, and it will be accessing my ARR dot length minus 1. So my ARR dot length is nothing but the total number of elements in the array, and minus 1 is nothing but the index of the last element. Okay, so the total number of elements minus 1 is the value of the index of the last element in the array. Okay, so this is the index of the last element of the array. Okay, so up to that the I will be getting increased. Then what we have to do is we have to add every element of the array to the total. Okay, so then what we have to do is we have to give total plus equal to, we have to access the first element of the array. So how do we access? Using the index. Okay, so the index is given here as I equal to 0. So what we are going to do is we are going to give my ARR of index I. So it means that my ARR of index 0. Okay, so that will be added to the total. Then what will happen? So after index 0, the value of 1 will be added to the index. So I will be getting 1 and I will be getting 2 and up to the last index it will be accessing. For example, I will be getting up to the index of 4, okay, and when it gets index of 4 it will be added, the last element will be added to the total, and finally when it gets the index of 5 it is not possible because this condition will become false, so there will not be any addition, okay. So press Ctrl Enter. So from this we will be seeing in the upcoming classes, okay. Let me conclude this. I'm thinking that I am rushing the concepts, okay. So I would like to conclude this session, and we will be seeing nesting for loops from the next class, okay. So thank you for watching my videos, my friends. Thank you for subscribing me, and please subscribe me, and thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you.